Hello, true art believers, and welcome to today's live art stream. This is Pierson here. I am the #1 live art streamer in the world, and you are watching 300 Days of Drawing, and it is day 204. And a little bit of a segue, we're going to be jumping into doing some more like tutorials this time, and so hopefully you'll learn something along the way. And let's begin today's cloud drawing. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it. All right, welcome everyone. So what we're going to do for this cloud drawing is we're going to separate the areas into three categories. One's going to be the background, the other one's going to be the midground, and then the other one's going to be the foreground. And what will be a good way to do the background is mainly just to do a what you'll do is we're just going to do like a simple blue sky here. Okay, let's get this stuff out of the way here. I got all these like icons and computer things. You ever have all these things just kind of hovering around, you know? Well, so that's what I have. I'm going to get a blue sky here. Don't want that. We want that. We're going to do a blue sky like it's off blue. And we might even want to do it brighter than that. I have a tendency to, I've been doing a lot of dark things lately. So that'll be good. And we're going to make it kind of light to dark. So we're going to use a soft round brush. And this is this brush I haven't used, and I haven't used this specific brush before, so it's going to be a little bit new here. We're just going to kind of, oh yeah, that's, make it darker up here. Already I don't like it. I want a nice blue, not a teal. And we're going to make it slightly darker up top. Like that. And then we're going to make it slightly lighter. Not gray light, but lighter on the bottom here. And then we're just going to do some color testing like this. And we're just going to make like a transitional tone, like a light to dark tone. At least I think I am. We're going to switch the brush. I don't like this brush. I never used it. I don't like it. I already hate it. I've been using a soft round brush, but it's a different soft round, so the settings are slightly different. And I'm not trying to use that as an excuse. Okay, so here we go. Definitely not that. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm just creating a nice little fade from light to dark using a soft round brush. Like that. And so now that we have our background tone, what we're going to do next is we're going to work on the foreground, and we're just going to work on a cloud. And how we're going to do that is really simple. Is we're going to use a I'm going to use a pressure sensitive. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to use a hard round pressure sensitive brush, and we're going to make it a cloud that is. We're going to do a cloud, and what we're going to do to get that cloud is we're going to pretend that it's like a bunch of bubbles. So pretend that we're just making like these little bitty bubbles here. something like this, something like this. Making smaller ones in the back, like that. And this is what we have here. We have a little bitty. Now notice that I used a tone that was like slightly dark, and that's going to be like my mid tone or my dark tone for the clouds. Um, so that's what I'm going to be using for these clouds here. Is it like a mid tone, dark tone? Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lock the layer pixels, and then we're going to start by adding like lighter tones on all of them, right? So we're going to add a lighter tone. And notice that I'm doing like these arcing motions to kind of give off the impression they're kind of like fluffy, you know, like these fluffy looking clouds here. They're just fluffy. All right. Making them even brighter. And I'm using just a hard, round, pressure sensitive brush right now. So that's all I'm doing here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, actually, just doing a lot of color testing right now. And I'm kind of doing color testing to kind of blend them together. I'm doing it on the wrong layer too. Gosh darn. Okay, so I'm learning quite a bit again. I really did kind of bomb this tutorial. I didn't know. I had this idea that I wanted to talk about like the foreground, midground, and background, and I started using some brushes that I haven't used in forever. And that's no excuse. I'll learn. We'll course correct, and I'm gonna start getting better with this process. Okay, so what we've done now is we've done the highlight, we've got the mid-tone. What I'm going to play around with now is I'm going to add another layer, and too bad you can't see me doing that. I'm going to do like a darker blue here using the hard round brush, and it's gonna be like they're like gray clouds. That's what they're gonna be, like gray clouds. They're gonna be like gray clouds. They're gonna be black clouds. No, they're gonna be gray clouds here. It's gonna be like overcast. I guess it's kind of expressing my mood. And this is just the start. I'm gonna after you do this, what I will do is I'm gonna smooth out all the edges using a soft round brush. You know, I really want to kind of just have this here, and I'm probably gonna add some color to it a little bit later. We'll see. All right, so now we're gonna do a completely different layer, and we're gonna use a soft round pressure sensitive brush. I'm going to zoom in, and this is where we're going to have some of the more in-depth effects. So using the brush, the tones that I have here already, we're just going to kind of blend these areas together with a soft round so that you're not going to see those streaks anymore. So just kind of blending them in. It's going to take a while because it's going to take some time. Okay, so now after these areas are blended to not necessarily blended, but I'm just kind of going over those areas with a soft round brush, just soften up those edges some so that they feel a little bit more realistic. So look how look how they just kind of flow. They're like fluffy little pancakes. All right, so now we have a little bit of form now. We've kind of developed some form here. because we've done like the base, right, where we had like a mid-tone cloud, which is kind of like a grayish blue, or at least for this frame or this kind of cloud I've started here. And then basically you're just up in the saturation to like a higher, like a lighter blue tone, right? And I've been just kind of softening up the edges of these smaller clouds in the background. They're supposed to look like they're coming in, like farther in the distance, but I really didn't. I don't think I did a good job. So that's that. And now what I'm going to do is we're just going to kind of we're going to emphasize those highlights even more with a with your soft round brush. So I'm pretending that the light source is coming to the left side here, and just kind of doing that. So I've been thinking about this. I'm gonna each time I do this live stream, I'm gonna tweak the dialogue so I can articulate the thoughts a little bit more, because I never really know what to say. Um, what I find really interesting about other artists is they have a formula for drawing, and I don't really have a formula. Like I don't have one. Everyone's like, here's how you draw the figure, here's how you do this, and I'm like, I'm gonna see what everyone else is doing and see how I can incorporate that into my like overall strategy. So all I'm doing now is just overemphasizing the top plane or top face of that cloud. Just kind of imply that there is a bright light source on the top side here, and that's just giving it more contrast. And just using the soft round brush. I was using this prefab cloud brush, but I felt like it was cheating. So I want to just do it manually at first, and then eventually I'm going to make my own like cloud brush that I can use that will help me along the way. And that's another way of the for me to learn how to do this, to kind of improve the process to some extent. And now, since I got enough highlights, actually I probably could even go brighter. Go a little bit brighter on some of these areas. I want to make the contrast even higher, like this. And what I want to do is I want to push the contrast more on the back side, because I just want to have harder edges, and I'm still learning how to do this. So I'm going to emphasize these edges a little bit. I think that might be too dark. There we go. It's kind of now we're going to go and do another layer behind, kind of just going to add some clouds in the background. So what I'm learning with this process is how to layer my clouds, because I don't know, it's not abundantly clear like where I need to be um, layering my clouds, what needs to be where inside your Photoshop, and how you're organizing your images and so forth. There we go. So all I'm doing now is kind of playing around with the the hard edge brush. I want to, oh, why is it doing that? I must have clicked. Oh, there we go. Okay, for a second I thought I wasn't able to to work with it, to draw on it. So here we go. I'm going to make some harder edges. See how I like that. I don't know if I like it, but I think it might be necessary to have a little bit, some hard edges here. Because with the soft edge, the soft round brush, there's this tendency to be, it can be, it cannot, sometimes can be a little bit soft, a little bit overly soft here. I am not good at clouds. I'm awful at this. How do you get better at doing at something? You do it. That's really what it boils down to, is like, how do you improve at doing at things? How do you improve on things? Why is it doing that? Is it because I have a certain like did I do something to the, nope, all the settings are normal. So right now I'm just kind of fiddling around with the contrast. I don't like how hard I made that edge there. Like, I really don't. And I need to fix that. Yep. So right now I am just playing around, much to my dissatisfaction here. Okay, we gotta fiddle around with this cloud. Gotta fiddle around with it. All right. I don't know where all my layers are at right now, but because I've done everything on like all these various layers, I thought I had it prepared. I set up the layers to foreground, midground, background. I added a few extra layers in there. I made groups and layers, and I separated them. And I thought that would be the best way to go about it, but I guess not. So let's see here. What can I do? All my layers are all mixed up. So I had that. We went from there to there. Not bad. It's still not great. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something I learned. Well, I say I learned it. I don't think I've learned much that at all. Okay. It's taking me a bit of time to kind of stop that. You know what sucks about Photoshop is, so I press the Alt key a lot, And not only that, but the Alt key is right next to the Window key, and I often stumble with that, right? I hit the Window key, and all of a sudden it opens up a whole new side of windows. I'm like, gosh darn it, get out of here! I'm just trying to draw, man. Just blending in tones here, or trying my best to blend in tones. It's all very big learning experience for me. Um, I think I've talked about this numerous times where you have to, in order for me to become decent at something, I have to do about 300 times more than everyone else. I have to do so much more just to fully grasp it. It's a frustrating curse to be in, you know. All right, 27 minutes in. So I just want to do a 30-minute cloud. I don't like this one particularly because I made the background tone the same cloud color as the cloud, like as the background tone, the same as the cloud color. And so what I'm going to do next time, I'm going to probably talk about that next time, is you're going to want something that's different than that. Although maybe they're kind of like overcast clouds. Maybe they're like an expression of what I'm feeling at the moment. Like, oh my gosh, a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of fear, a little bit of that, all that stuff kind of bundled into one. So I'm learning a lot here, and I'm just thinking about what I'm going to talk about. Like what can I bring to the plate next time? And I've been really pondering what I need to do. So I'm gonna need to figure out a standard operating procedure so I can talk about it to the viewer. And I'm just gonna get better from here. That's my that was my goal with this, is to start out by just kind of jumping into it and then slowly improving the process so that I can explain it to the viewer. So right now I have some ideas of what I need to address for next time. I need to spend a little bit of time kind of creating some like imagery to kind of show what I'm thinking. Um, but this is my cloud for the day. It was pretty good. It was a rough start. It's got this overcast feel to it. And I'm just trying to learn how to use these brushes all over again because I've been using brushes for a specific type of thing, and I've got really good at doing that specific type of thing. And now I am kind of in a position where I'm not doing that thing anymore. So I have to kind of I have to adapt. That was a long pause. All right. So there we go. That's my cloud for the day. And let's do the signature, even though it's not worth it. Let me go down to the bottom here. Do this. And definitely not that size. And we're gonna do a we're gonna go right here, type in. So notice there's no detail. It's just little bitty fuzzies. Let's do a white. P21, and it's 204 out of 300. There we go. And that is it for the day. That's my cloud. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. I don't think it was much, but you got to start somewhere. And I'm going to do a little bit of self-reflecting. I had an idea setting up the cloud so that there's foreground, midground, background. The background is going to be used for just basically the blue tones. And then the foreground was supposed to be for the clouds. The midground was supposed to be for like the clouds that I drew in the background, like the in-between clouds. So like for just to show some spatial distance. That was the plan. It didn't happen that way. Kind of just like I just kind of like kept adding new layers and new layers. So I know what to think about and I'll know what to address next time. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say, and I hope you enjoyed my cloud that I drew today. And it's just only going to get better. This is the second cloud. I'm going to be doing 100. So fingers crossed they'll get better. All right, this is Pierson. I am the #1 live art streamer in the world. I hope you enjoyed this stream. Have a wonderful day. Pierson out. Cheers.